to bake a plum cake. This video gives you the recipe of our homemade plum cake. Hope you enjoy it. Kaju, fruit peel, seedless black currant, soaked in rum. 500 grams butter being melted on the stove. Stove is switched off after the butter reaches a boiling point. The rest of the butter will melt on its own. The egg yolk and white being separated. White and the egg yolk of 10 eggs removed separately, being strained. To see that both the egg being strained so that there are no particles of shells remaining. The egg white is being, what is it called?
Butter.
Huh?
Butter or egg.
And rava 300 grams. White of 10 eggs and 500 grams butter melted are being beaten together by the egg beater. Tablespoons of baking powder being added to the mix of Maida and Rava. Grams of sugar powder being added to the mixture of atta and baking powder. The sugar powder is being strained because it has got lumps sometimes. How many lumps of powdered sugar are remaining? Those should not go into the atta. Now after the sugar powder is held in the sieve, then by hand it is crushed and put into the atta. It is properly mixed by hand. To increase the quantity a bit, we have added the remaining 200 grams of rava. It will not make a difference to the consistency, it will make it better. Make a cake of about 2.5 kilos. There will be dry fruits added. There is so much of the rava and baking powder, butter and sugar powder. The egg yolk and add it to the atta. Egg yolk being added to the atta mixture, the flour mixture. Slowly and steadily mixing everything while pouring. And the attas I have got mixed together. Butter are still standing. They will have to be beaten again before use. Making sugar syrup, 3 tablespoonfuls of oil and 3 tablespoonfuls of sugar. We will heat the sugar, it will become sugar syrup while stirring. See how beautifully the color will change. Two tablespoons of water in order to liquidize the sugar syrup. Otherwise, it will become very hard. So to keep it soft and fluid, we are adding 2-3 tablespoons of water. Stirring so that the two liquids mix. Be careful when you are adding water, the sugar syrup will splash. So keep your face and hands away. while pouring water into the hot sugar syrup. Congealed a bit, add little more water and put on the stove, heat it and mix it again. This is a very fine step. Take care that the heat is switched off and switched on at the time when you are adding further water and mixing. I have set the convection mode of the microwave at 190 degrees centigrade in order to preheat the oven. I've started press, start, and the table is turning inside. It's preheating. Once it's preheated, it will automatically stop on its own and the oven will be ready to accept the cake. It is being beaten and it will be added to the flour. Beat the yolk and butter again, mix it with the atta. Half of the atta, half of the egg white and butter. Mix properly, then add the other half. All together. We have taken a deep utensil so that the mixing is easier and there is no overflow. I'll show you the final mixed product. These are the dry fruits, that is akhrot and cashew, fruit peel, seedless black currant soaked in rum. This will now be added to the mixture. The mixing is very important. The flour will rise as you are turning it because all the baking powder gets mixed with the atta nicely. It's very important to mix the baking powder nicely with the atta. Now we are adding it to the mixture.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Now this is the final step. This is the consistency we want. Therefore, we did not add the entire sugar syrup and water, otherwise it will become very loose and difficult to bake. It will break up. See, this is the consistency. So it's better to add sugar syrup slowly and step by step and check the consistency. Show the consistency again. This is the consistency. Have to check the color. It should not be very dark. Once it becomes very dark, that means we have added excess of sugar syrup and water.
Cream brown color.
It should be proper beige color. In the video it is appearing cream. It should not be cream. It will become a little biscuit color, Monaco biscuit color. Little more sugar syrup. So we are removing the oil from it, and now the remaining sugar syrup we will add, because we were not happy with the color of the final product. We'll mix it properly now. I'll show you the final color. Microwave on convection mode at 190 degrees centigrade has heated the oven, preheated the oven for 16 minutes. We have stopped the preheating now, and the oven is ready now to accept the cake. It's ready. we have added some butter for melting so that we can use it for lining. The melted butter is being added to the molds. All the molds will be lined like this. We have cut the butter paper according to the size of the mold. We are adding butter to the inside part of the butter paper so that the cake does not stick to the butter paper. So there was butter on the mold, there is butter on the butter paper too. That one end of the butter paper sticks out of the mold. That way it becomes easier for you to extract the cake from the mold. The microwave has space only for 4 small molds. We are getting 4 molds ready. Now we are using the spoon with which we got the butter, melted butter, in order to settle the mixture. Now you will notice that the molds are filled only 3/4. The remaining 1/4 is left in order to allow the cake to rise. Don't fill the molds to the brim. Fill it only 3/4. Leave 1/4 for the cake to rise. Are now ready with the content of the mixture, and now we will put it into the microwave, which is heated in convection mode, heated to 190 degrees centigrade for 15 to 16 minutes, preheated. Now this is a separate batter made for my aunt who does not eat the fruit peel and the black currant. So while standing it had become a little hard, so we added a little sprinkle of water in order to make it a little more motile. We have managed to fit 6 small bowls into the microwave. Now the preheated oven at 190 degrees, now we have pressed the start button. Now 10 minutes have passed after we kept the cake in the microwave. We have touched it and it's not yet fully formed. So we'll keep it for another 5 minutes. Put the microwave on for another 5 minutes. And now the cake is ready. So totally in 15 minutes the cake has got baked in a preheated oven. Preheated to 190 degrees, preheated for 15 minutes. In the same preheated oven, we have added further bowls now. In the same preheated oven, we have added further bowls now. And now we know it takes 15 minutes to bake, so we will set it for 15 minutes. I don't set the microwave, I just keep it on convection mode and I set my alarm for 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes the cake will be ready again. I had to preheat the oven again at 190 degrees for another 15 minutes and then put the cake for baking for another 15 minutes. Now, the first batch, which has cooled down, we are taking it out of the molds. After making the cakes, Let them stand for 3 days in the fridge. Before putting in the refrigerator, wrap them in tin foil. In 3 days' time, the full cake will get fermented with the rum you have put in. The quantity of rum can be increased. The quantity of sugar can be increased according to your taste. So enjoy this homemade cake, which is not as rich as the ones available in the market, but designed to meet your tastes, to make your life healthy and happy. Merry Christmas.